So, allow me to tell you a story. A story about Japanese mythology and how Capcom really kind of shifted it around a little. So, anyway, this Game of Glory, I have returned. Evan, Hayley, say hi.
Heyo.
So, Hayley, this is your first time in one of our post-commentaries kind of here. So,
after we finally finished Kingdom Hearts.
Oh yeah, we're finally gonna do another game. And it's not Kingdom Hearts this time. This is actually a game that I have been playing ever since it came out on the Wii.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said it was, and we'll see you next time at Rechain of Memories. You lied to me.
No. Anyway, we have Okami HD. This is a game about Japanese mythology and Capcom romanticizing it.
Romanticizing, like, getting rid of all the blood and guts, or adding
No,
more?
there's kind of blood and guts, kind of. Well, actually, there isn't any blood and guts. This is, well, they have connotations of it. So, we begin with a backstory, and that is a giant orange on top of a house. Right over here. So anyway, long, long ago, a tiny hamlet known as Kamiki lay nestled in a grove of proud and beautiful... Okay, this is getting boring.
How chatty is this game?
This game's pretty chatty.
About as bad as Metal Gear, would you say?
No, it's accompanied by very, very enticing and very enticing illustrations. Because you can tell because of the art style in this game that it's done with a brush, and it is done with Japanese Kamiki-styled illustrations.
Cave-dwelling beast? Oh no. Sacrificed maiden?
So basically, Kamiki has a dark secret. They have an eight-headed snake god, evil snake god, on their ass, and they have to sacrifice a maiden every 1 year.
So they're basically worshipping this god out of fear.
Yeah, they are.
It's Solaris all over again.
It doesn't even sound like worshipping so much as mollifying.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, when the mysterious white wolf appeared outside the village, meet our protagonist. Except this is not our protagonist.
Thanks, Nomura.
This is not... Oh. So here's the backstory. You have to learn about the actual backstory in order to make out, like, what's going on. Basically, the game takes place 100 years after this legend. So we have the legend of Orochi. Basically, there's this white wolf, Shiranui, watching over the village, and people thought he was someone close to Orochi. So one guy challenged him, and his name was Nagi.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Warrior Nagi. Yeah. His attempt was thwarted by Shiranuy's swift movements. He got beaten by a dog.
A wolf is not just a dog.
Okay, he got beaten by a wolf.
It's like Dog 2.0. Actually, no, a dog is more like Wolf 2.0, except not scary.
Yeah. By the way, that's a giant sake barrel on top of a house. This game has a lot of it because, in order to illustrate every type of person's like different type of, I guess, personality and what their occupation is, they have like certain items on top of their heads or like ornaments around them. For example, this is Nami right over there. She's a sake brewer. That's why she has a pot on her head. So yeah. This is supposed to illustrate you. You can skip this if you want, but I'm not skipping it because
I'm getting sick of the so-called talking.
The talking is supposed... That's the thing. It's supposed to sound like that to English speakers because it's ancient Japanese. This is like, because Japanese back then, because Japanese back then was borrowed from Chinese.
Mm-hmm.
And
to a certain degree, still is.
Yeah, to a certain degree, it still is, but this is like very foreign language. That's why you don't understand what they're trying to say.
So, if you set the language to Japanese in this game, what happens?
Yeah. His hide's like steel, you know, like...
As opposed to, Big the Cat's balls of steel?
Yeah, balls... Yeah! Dropped to his knees, fatigued and gasping for breath. You know, I can read this in, Morgan Freeman.
Oh?
He knew he was staring death in the face.
It was then that the wolf appeared.
As if to protect Nagi, it stood its ground before Orochi, even with all its heads. In the darkness of the cave, the wolf's coat shone brightly, brilliantly. Rightly. Alas, it was Shiranui, the wolf who dwelled outside the village. Bearing its fearsome claws, Shiranui leapt towards Orochi and reared its terrifying blah blah blah. I'm sorry if this text is slow, but this is how slow it's supposed to be.
Oh god, there's not an option where you can speed it up?
There is, but not this one. I'm doing this one as fast as I can, alright?
I will say this is really, really lovely visually already.
Yeah. So here is an example of how we can show off our power. Shiranui summoned gusts of divine wind to counter Orochi's flame by stopping time and drawing a symbol that actually summons divine wind. That is basically how you use your powers.
With a paintbrush?
But yeah, a celestial brush. And a gigantic tree suddenly sprouted forth.
Is he scared of trees?
No, well, it's a giant freaking tree. Trees are disgusting to eat.
Oh, god forbid it was X stuff.
Yeah. Orochi is protected by a mystical veil for some reason. Because all bosses have to have a freaking mystical veil. Stood exhausted before the mighty Orochi. Orochi saw a chance to strike what would be the final blow. But Shiranui refused to give in, with its last ounce of strength, and its voice box barely managing to hold it. The majestic wolf gazed howlingly and made a howl. Suddenly the black clouds overhead dissipated, and revealed the moon. The light from above glinted off Nagi's sword as a beacon of hope. So yeah, you can tell they're trying to, quote-unquote, tell a tale of Orochi. It is kind of the same as the actual tale of Orochi that Japanese mythology follows.
I'm not as well versed in Japanese mythology as I perhaps should be.
Yeah, I'm not either, but I'm trying to I look it up all the time. Channeling his strength into his arms, he leapt ferociously towards Orochi, his sword poised high.
Poised.
It's poised. Way there. One by one, Orochi's fearsome heads separated from their owner. Okay, you can... Yeah. By the way, I should note that Orochi's heads each represent an element. That's why they each have different headdresses. The leader one always has fire. That's why it looks like a plume of... That's why it doesn't have awesome hair. No, it's supposed to have... It's supposed to be a flame symbol on top of it. The sun shone once again in the sky, yada yada yada. Shiranui has succumbed to Orochi's poison and struggled to breathe. So you might want to remember these for later, because, well, we'll see later. The village, Shiranui was no longer moving. The village elder gently stroked the wolf's head. In response, Shiranui let out a hoarse and pitiful bark, then closed its eyes and drifted off as if into slumber. And thus that was the tale of Orochi. But this is a video game, or else this will be called a graphic novel. Peace at last returned to Kamiki village. In honor of Shiranui's heroic exploits, the villagers erected a shrine and placed a statue of the wolf within it. So yeah, it's a small shrine, but hey. Nagi's sword was christened Tsukuyomi, which means God of the Moon, and placed it inside the moon cave. The villagers all looked forward to an age of endless peace.
But that's never how it happens in video games.
Exactly.
However, this is not the end of the story.
There's color now.
I'd be ripped. You would be severely ripped off if you paid full price of a video game for this alone.
100 years have passed since Nagi and Shiranui's heroic exploits. I love the details of the trees. So this is the HD port, I should mention. If you're playing not HD port, the graphics will look a little bit more washed out. And a little bit unclear, too. Anyway, welcome to the Moon Cave. And Orochi's body is sealed within that sword.
I thought he was beheaded.
Yeah, but his evil
and I
spirit...
thought the sword was supposed to be golden.
Is this the legendary sword? 100 years has passed. The sword that banished the dreaded Orochi? I wonder who this shadowy man can be.
His name is question marks.
Yeah, his name is question marks. Oh.
Why did that idiot do that?
Because he was... Well, we'll get more context of it later, but... But he did that because he was... Well,
Did he have a good reason?
he will have a good reason later, but I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay. I really like the circa early 2000s Legend of Zelda look this has.
Yeah. I could pretty much say that this is kind of like Legend of Zelda, actually. Utter the prayer unto me and unleash my power. I can't do that. So yeah. This idiot just released Orochi. Because he did. So at this moment right here, I'm gonna the Capcom shows what kind of game this is. About here. Out.
Jeez.
That basically that was how I got interested in that game.
Comedic game.
Yeah. It's pretty comedic, but it's also very heartwarming too.
I was gonna say,
So
that does
kinda-
not look like it uses comedy as like its primary focus.
So
No.
kind of like Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes, it's kind of like Fire Emblem Awakening. I should also mention that the backgrounds they use for this place is like...
That's one thing I like in video games. I'm fine with they're serious, but it's nice for them to lighten up the mood a bit every now and then.
This is why you would like Undertale.
Yes. However, there was one village that seemed to escape the terrible curse. Why am I speaking like I'm Fudd? I should mention that there are tidal waves in the background of a sacred tree. It is here that the real story begins.
In the tree.
Yeah, the tree.
So our protagonist is Exdeath.
No, it's actually... Well, I would say it was the daughter of Exdeath. Right over here, see? Meet the wood sprite Sakuya. And yes, there is a breast joke in that. How troublesome. This is just like the ancient prophecy of doom.
It's always just like the ancient prophecy of doom.
I know
What's that on her forehead?
I don't know. It could be like Tien's third eye. Or it could be a birthmark. I don't know. No time to lose. My power has diminished over the years I've spent protecting this area.
I just realized what this sounds like. Animal
What?
Crossing.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, it is.
Oh god, is it Tom Nook who released that stupid seal?
No.
Now this
Crossover right here. Let's get on it.
I can make a killing selling this sword.
Pay your tips.
And the villager just catches Orochi in the butterfly net and sells it off.
What color do you want your roof?
Alright, we finally got Tarasu right here.
And I remember him from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh yeah, meet the dog. This is Amaterasu, which basically means sun goddess. So yeah, Okami. The word Okami means god of gods, because the O is like the leader, ish. Oh, it's a life. I love
It's
this.
the god.
Yeah, I love this part because she's reveling in in majestic glory. The white wolf appears out of the statue, and Amaterasu's like, "What's going on? Why am I here?
What do you expect from a statue of a dog?
What do you expect for 1,000 years? Doesn't know what's going on, and well,
Amaterasu, why?
Frankly, doesn't give a damn.
Amaterasu, why you? It has that meme of Amaterasu. Why you no
What
focus?
does Amaterasu mean?
It's sun god,
Like,
I thought you said sun goddess.
sun
earlier.
goddess. Sorry, it's sun god, sun goddess. It's kind of the same thing. Cause they technically don't have genders, but then again, this is Japan, so.
isn't it in the first Japanese creation myth, the first two gods to procreate? Like, the woman spoke to the man first, but then they couldn't procreate because that was not the proper way of things, so they each had to circumnavigate the globe in opposite directions and try again with the man speaking first?
Yes.
That sounds like gender is kind of important in Japanese myths.
So here's
Didn't
another.
you bring this up in the e-playthrough?
Yeah, she did.
Something's stolen its way into my room.
This is another. This game has some perverted jokes because of our
Questionable
Navi
physics.
because of our Navi right here.
Because Japan?
Yeah, because of Japan.
Yep.
Anyway, meet our Navi right here, and he actually is a bit more
He looks
spritey.
like a watermelon.
He's actually a very tiny person with a giant bamboo hat. Anyway, are you nuts? I'm about as big as a nut. But you're nuts for sure. Anyway, he's trying to make the conversation a bit more interesting. That's all. And you can tell because this is like wasting time. Because, well, sake isn't like...
How long is this opening?
This is a very long opening, actually.
Wow. Right up there with Kingdom Hearts.
The name's Isun.
I'm not a bug, I'm a wandering artist.
It reminds me of Ted from Bone.
Isun is a name that... It's one of the legendary names from a wandering artist.
To bowing before my great brush.
And it's not...
Scroll to the face.
And it's not that good.
Hey, he draws better than I ever will.
Yeah. What do you think? Even cuter than the real one? Even cuter than the real thing, eh? So yeah, basically he has quite a number of funny lines. I love this guy. Although he does get a bit annoying at times, because, like I said, he's the Navi of Amaterasu.
The Omo-chow.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Bulbar Brawl.
Yeah. He's not a bug. He's a wandering artist in this game, and plus he's also a very good swordsman. And he has a sword known as Denkomaru. The Maru is
Denkomaru also tiny?
Yes. It's like a wood sprite sword. The Maru is just an extension of a name that's close to you. The Denko, I think it means forest.
He's just noticing what's going on?
Yeah, that's the joke.
Oh yeah, by the way, the world's gone to hell.
That's the joke. That's the joke of this scene. It's basically like, oh, they're just fooling around now, but she's on borrowed time. The village lives on. Their spirits lie encased in my fruit. Funny. Cut it free and village will be reborn. Even though we're in this quote-unquote apocalypse. Yeah, I like this. There's one of the, in the next part I will get into, one of the strengths in this game is the art direction. Because look at the background. I love what the background looks like.
Yeah, visually this game's pretty pleasing.
That's one of its strengths, because this game has quite a number of cutscenes. And you can just take in the sights. That's the fruit right over here. If you can cut it down, yeah, it's about as bad as you think. But it's awfully high up there. If you don't use some kind of special power, there's no way you're gonna reach it.
Unless, maybe we climb the tree?
We're
Yeah, wolves always climb trees.
We're dogs. Well, wolves. We can't climb trees compared to cats.
Put the bug thing in your mouth and spit it at the fruit. He's got a sword, he can cut it down if we shoot him up there.
He's got a dinky little wood sprite sword.
Alright, so basically, here's how you control him. You can just... If you're playing the Wii version, you play with a nunchuck as well. But I'm playing the PS3 version, so just moving around with the left analog stick. You can tackle things with the square button, jump with the X button, dig with the triangle button. L1 is basically change your view. And yeah, that's about it. See, I love the stars in this place. Well, meet the... I forget what this place is. I think it's called the River to the Heavens. Welcome to Tutorial Place. That's basically what the River of Heavens are. They say once your reflection... And here's our save point.
Checkpoint!
No, it's our save point. Basically, we're in tutorial land. This is not gonna happen later in the game. So this is the only time where the game... This is the only, few times where the game's gonna be really chatty.
Does the game ever lean on the fourth wall like this again?
Yes. There are a couple of fourth wall jokes. But here's where you can save. I've already completed the game, so no worries.
You mentioned there was a New Game Plus.
Yes, you can enter New Game Plus once you finish everything. You keep all your power-ups, you keep all your weapons, except for the 5th tier weapons. And you keep all your,
Does Isu not like you and that's why he'll only teach you to break pots with your head?
Yes.
Like not, jump on them or something less painful, knock them into something hard?
No.
And out there,
always
and
use
somewhere
your
out
head.
there, Link has a shitting brain.
Somewhere out there, Link is crying tears because someone's not taking the rupees inside. Alright, so yeah. Actually, I should say that, Amaterasu... Isun calls her Ami. So I could just call her Ami. Or dog. Or wolf.
I'm a dog.
Yeah, a dog. Ami the dog. So you can wall jump right over here. I would say that Amaterasu is pretty damn acrobatic. Once you get,
Why didn't we wall jump up to the fruit?
What? we can't... Well, we don't have anything to cut it off.
The little guy's got a sword.
Well, we'll get a better means to cut.
You can chew the stem off.
Shut up. Anyway, here's our potion. Here are
Holy
healing.
bone, S.
The S means it's small.
Holy bone, Batman.
Yen is our currency, by the way. I should mention that there are a few changes. Other than widescreen 60 frames per second. More yen will appear from pots. I should mention that. Like, you will only get, like, maximum, like, 5 of those green coins, which is, like, 50 yen. I got, like, 70 or 80 over there.
Nice.
So, anyway, here's how we're supposed to handle our powers. And with the magic of the power of the gods, basically, that's the best thing. That's the best way I can come up with this. This is the power of the gods, and we have restored the bridge. How? I don't know. I practiced really hard to master that technique, but there are 13. Originally, all 13 were a single powerful deity. Yada yada yada. They hint at some sort of thing. The gods now dwell as objects, so god or no god, how can anyone master all 13 powers?
That sounds like a great question that's going to cease to be rhetorical as we progress throughout the game.
Yep. Actually, that's kind of true. When the river of the heavens, you meet the fabled Stardust River, but I only see this little puddle right over there, actually. I do like the swirling clouds, though. And I suddenly bursted into money.
You burst
What's
into
the money for?
Money, currency. You buy things.
Like what?
I'll show you in like part 2 or 3. I mean, look at the stars twinkle. I haven't seen such a beautiful nighttime sky in ages. So, basically, here's our way of getting power-ups. There's this constellation, and we have to fill in the star, basically. So, we have to draw in the missing star. By the way, this is mostly through plot. It's not through, like, secret things, so just draw through plot. Bah. Looks like I'm not ready to draw missing stars yet. Press the R1 button and then press the square. Easy.
Mumble.
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 Alright, so since we are the sun god, we are gonna fill that star in. Here we go. Hey, that's the wrong place, dude. That's not my eye. I do like this. Meet...
That's so cool.
I know. Meet Yomi.
Shenron.
Yeah, it's Shenron. Shenron with a beard.
Nice.
Meet Yomigami. This is the god of restoration, and it is part of his name because Yomi means like to wither, but it's supposed to be a...
Oh right, the 8 ugly females of Yomi.
Yes.
That's a legend that I know.
And basically that Yomi, it's supposed to be a reference to Yomigaru, which means to rebuild, basically. So Yomigami basically says, oh, the other powers that you used to have, oh, they're scattered like me. So you kind of have to fill them in. I do like how they have a scroll over there as a part of his body, which is pretty cool. Blah, blah. I'm a giant dragon. Make your wish, mortal.
I wish for this playthrough to be done.
I told you
Sad
it's...
face.
I told you it's gonna be long, Kevin. Whoa.
How about this? Can you at least make the cutscenes shorter?
Well, you have to read, don't you? Can you really use it?
Evan never reads if he can help it.
Yeah, he's not a very good RPG person. Unless
Hey, screw you. I understand Fire Emblem Awakening.
unless it has voice acting. So I cut off here because my brother wants to watch the game. That's why, so we'll have to continue at part 2 of Okami HD. This Gamer of Glory, I shall return. Evan, Hayley, say bye.
Bye.
See ya.